So I'm on Twitter and I'm seeing all these reports circulating that Doc Rivers is experimenting with Paul Reed at the 4 and Joel Embiid at the 5. And huh? What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to the Sixers Break Room. Before we get to the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's free love. It costs you nothing. Let's make sure we run up those likes. If you're watching the video, click that like button. Click it right now. And, of course, comment. Let's boost that engagement. Comment anything, an emoji, your favorite emoji, something about the video, whatever it is. Let's go Sixers. Just drop a comment. You know what I mean? Send some love. So, taking a look at this quote right here, Doc Rivers says PJ Tucker is probably more 3 than 4, but that's not what I want to get to. Let's talk about the next portion of this quote. We ran some 4 today with Paul Reed at the 4 and Joel at the 5. Then we ran some today with Tobias at the 4 and a small guy at the 3, so we moved that around a lot today. The big thing that's been getting a lot of traction is Paul Reed at the 4. I'm seeing a lot of fans on social media getting excited at the idea of Paul Reed being the 4 next to Joel Embiid at the 5. It seems like a lot of this excitement kind of circles around the fact that Paul Reed can do the dirty work and Joel Embiid can just focus on protecting the rim. Paul Reed can get all the offensive rebounds because there's going to be a 4 guy who probably can't box him out. 5s have a hard enough time boxing him out, let alone 4s trying to box him out on the offensive glass. And you get some additional length, some additional toughness. Again, he gets to just be the guy to do the dirty work, and Joel Embiid can chill a little bit. But I'm here to tell you that the cons heavily outweigh those pros, in my opinion, and this is why. For months, really for years, if you go back to Ben Simmons, but we heard about how if you don't have floor spacers next to Joel Embiid, you're only hurting Joel Embiid, right? People were furious because when you had Ben Simmons on the floor, guys were sinking off. Now the lane is crowded, and Joel Embiid, he's not able to operate the way you'd like him to operate. Then you look at a Matisse Thybulle, a guy who our fan base has been like dying to trade despite his defensive abilities because he can't space the floor. When he's on the floor, nobody's guarding him. You're shrinking the lane for everybody else. His guy just sinks off. He's doubling Joel Embiid, and it becomes a problem. But now it seems like we're going to put a guy at the 4 spot who's going to, like those guys, shrink the floor for Joel Embiid. Like, can Paul Reed hit a 3? Yes. You know what I mean? And shout out to my guy Sean, who tweeted out, you know, how he shot 45% in the G League and he's holding on to that. And I hear you, like, yeah, but that's the G League, right? Like, I got to see him do it and consistently do it in the NBA. As of right now, Paul Reed is not a consistent 3-point shooter. So what's going to happen if you put Paul Reed at the 4? I can promise you his man is going to sink off, and Joel Embiid is going to draw a lot of double teams. Joel Embiid, being the player that he is, he makes the right play. He's going to kick it out to Paul Reed, and if Paul Reed's not hitting shots, well, it becomes just like a Matisse Thybulle, a guy that is a great defender, super high energy guy, but is hurting us offensively, not only because he's not making shots, but he's making life for Joel Embiid harder. Now, listen, I would like to be wrong. I love B-Ball Paul. I love his energy. You know, I think that he can be a pretty good pro, but I just feel like our fan base has fallen in love with him so much so that it's like we kind of ignore a little bit of common sense, right? And, like, this is not a knock on Paul Reed. It's just like he's not a shooter. He's not that guy. And it's just weird to me that of all the players, it seems like every time we had a guy who can't really shoot, it's like, well, we don't want him on the floor next to Joel Embiid because it's going to hurt Joel Embiid. But all of a sudden, when it's B-Ball Paul, we're willing to just turn a blind eye. And it seems like it's always that way with him, right? Like, we were dogging DeAndre Jordan because we wanted to play Paul Reed. We were dogging the signing of Montrezl Harrell because we want to play Paul Reed. Like, Paul Reed is a good player, but he has his flaws. He's not just perfect in every situation, and I'm not sure that he's perfect for the 4. I think that you're better off having him as a backup 5 so he can do what he does best while not limiting the next guy. I really think if you put him on the floor next to Joel Embiid, you're clogging the lane, you're making life harder for Joel Embiid, and that's the last thing that we want. But hey, sound off in the comment section. I've seen everybody sounding off on Twitter about it. Let's bring that conversation over to this video. Do we really think that this is really a good basketball decision, that this is really going to work out as far as basketball goes, or admittedly, do we just love Paul Reed and we just want to see him out on the floor more? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, don't forget to like the video. Of course, like I said, subscribe to the channel, man. Just do it. Subscribe, baby. And if you want to become a member, that link is in the description below as well. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Sixers Break Room, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Peace.